Yeah, you should be putting some micro content on SoundUp's Instagram for this right here. Got it.
I'm literally...
You could do it on the micro, though. Micro stories.
Oh, micro stories. Oh,
micro.
We're
micro
live.
Content.
Hey,
everybody. Welcome to Sound Up, Sound Off. My name's Chris. This is Sean. Happy left-handed day. Are you left-handed, Sean?
I thought you were going to say New Year for some weird reason. I am ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous. It's not that day. It's left-handed day. So welcome all of our left-handed
So
audience members. Whether you're listening or no, it's like if you are left-handed, we're celebrating left-handed people. I think. I really hope so. That's what Twitter told me. Yep, okay. That makes more sense. Exactly. Thank you. So I'm not left-handed either, and Sean is lying about being ambidextrous. So we just want to congratulate all of our members. It's your day if you're left-handed. You got this?
I'm left-handedly Instagram storying.
That's why you're not doing it very well. There you go. Beautiful. All right. So this is our show where we get to talk about some topics. And if you listen to the podcast, thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing to SoundUp Podcast. And we do this on a podcast, I hope. Mm-hmm. All right. Awesome. And if you're watching live, we just want to welcome our membership and audience. Moving to our first topic of the day.
Yeah, what's this about?
I'm really confused because like 15 seconds ago it was football. And now it says Pokemon.
Did you ever play anything with cards?
Yeah, I played a lot of No Limit Hold'em, some blackjack if I was...
Right. Did you ever play those games, like Pokemon's card game, right? Yeah. I'm not a Pokemon expert. Can we...
My son...
I feel like I'm getting cut off by the sign I made. I'm just going to get really close to you. Just let that happen.
You should have made that sign. Pokemon was huge. My son, when he was in first and second grade, and he's like 16 now, had this big... I still remember it was a red binder like that I would keep baseball cards in when I was a kid, and there were Pokemon cards in it. And he would tell me we're playing a game, and I always lost. For some reason, I didn't have enough power or score or points cards. I think he always gave me the sucky cards. I don't know. But that's about my extent knowledge of Pokemon until the resurgence of Pokemon Go with AR. Where are you going with this topic? I'm rambling.
How much would you pay for a pack of cards?
For a pack of Pokemon cards? Mm-hmm. Like a set or like that comes in the plastic wrap and like how we used to get little bubble gum out like 5 cards.
Figures you showed me a second ago? Cards. $107,000 as someone just paid.
For what?
How many? A full set.
For what does that mean?
Is that like every card ever made?
Oh, okay. Every card ever made. I would spend a good $100 on that.
Well,
107,000.
Was it on eBay? That's the one. Savannah, my microphone.
Wow.
Yeah. The complete Pokemon card set sold for over $107,000. It was a first set of the So yeah, first edition, the first ones ever.
It better be a mint, like mint.
I mean, they're all in little cases.
Smell.
They're
like
all
they
in
came
like look at that. They are all in little cases.
Sheesh.
I don't know if everybody can see it, but
you know, this lends itself a little bit to the Gary Vee baseball card, like card trading phenomenon, whether it's athletics or I think like card games like that, as far as collector type mentalities, as far as from a business aspect and trading, you know, valuation and actually being an asset in the long run. Won't it be cool in 50 years when Pokemon Godzilla for 500 points is worth like $500,000?
Yeah, I mean, how many things are going to be worth that? There was a conversation on this other podcast I listened to. I think it was like Consumer Reports Car Talk or something. And they were saying, like, what cars do you think will be worth something in 20 years? Like, they are now, and one guy said he thinks the Jeep trucks they're making now would be, and some things like that. But you know, there are some really like basic cars that are now like super popular. Like no one's gonna want a Ford Taurus from the 2005.
I wish I had a Ford Tempo. I think I should have kept that.
I don't know what that looks like.
Not much.
Sounds fast. Sounds like it's always on time.
Not. It's a 4-door sedan.
Well, I mean on time. I mean like musical time. Tempo.
Oh, I got you. I'm sorry. I thought you meant like I was always on time.
That was a great joke that only I got. I'll laugh at it later myself. Anyway, we shared this, or you shared this, I think. The Massive Agent is one of our members, and he...
Oh, yeah. For his Alexa Flash briefing?
Yeah, and I've had a couple other members say this, so you definitely want to get on Google Podcasts because they're starting to show up in search results.
Above videos.
Right, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I've also seen some people's actual Alexa skill page, like, where you go in and enable it, show up in search results too.
Yeah.
I've had I wish I remembered. Someone a couple weeks ago sent that to me, which that's really cool.
I've seen that come. So yeah, hey, tooting our own horn here. You should be on Alexa as far as skills or custom skills, because I think it does come up in search results, and there's nothing, I guess, competing against it when searching verbatim, or even if I think the SEO algorithm on skills for Amazon is strong.
Yeah,
on Google. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, like I compared to searching Myrtle Beach insurance,
I mean, if you think about it, and you're the only one in your town doing something on Alexa, you have that extra domain authority that Alexa and Amazon have, along with a really good description. Don't just put 3 sentences and say, "Oh, we're good."
Right.
Like, actually put work into that. Your keywords, the name, all of that. One more thing when it comes to searching, speaking of names, is we did have a member successfully get their developer business name, which has been a huge challenge for a lot of people. Amazon, a couple months ago, a year ago, however, said you can no longer change your developer name. So when it shows up, your skill name underneath it says by whatever your developer name is. Within like 4 days, they changed it for her, which is awesome. So,
which means you can complain to Amazon and they will listen to you.
Yeah, this is not your actual skill name. This is just the name of the developer business account.
Little name underneath says by this person.
Right.
All right. Company or person. But let me say one more thing to search. The other thing that that Massive Agent that Dustin was saying, which I thought was cool, and I haven't seen this because I tried to Google my podcast. What I did like is I went and Googled my podcast, like Eagle Realty Podcast. And I'm like page 1. It's just funny that no one's competing to get, like, you are page 1 throughout the whole first page of Google. Like, everything was my Eagle Reality podcast. So I thought that was cool. And I typed Eagle Realty podcast, not like the name of my podcast is the Eagle Reality Career Talk podcast, and I just typed Eagle Realty podcast, and it was the whole thing. So, but that wasn't what I was going to say. It was cool. They take snippets. Did you see that? Where Google snips like clips of your podcast related to what you searched for.
And that's if it's on Google Podcasts.
If it's on Google,
right.
Yeah.
So you can't just go, I only want to be on iTunes, because guess what? Not everyone's on iTunes.
Right.
There's other platforms.
What?
Yeah. Like, I've listened to podcasts for years on an app called Pocket Cast, because when I first started listening to podcasts, Apple did not have a podcast app. Believe it or not, they didn't have one until 2000.
Oh, a podcast app. I was like,
right.
Podcast kind of.
So there was Overcast, with a few different ones. I paid like $4 for this app, but it was the best one, and it's on all my devices. If I'm listening to an episode on an Android and I go pick up my iPad, it picks up where it left off, which is awesome, especially if you're doing Android, iPhone, cross-platform, whatever. So that is cool, but also if you're on Google Podcasts, Google's just going to put you up there in the rankings.
Gotcha.
Do all things Google. You should have a Google My Business page, but you know what? We won't go into all that right now. So,
but we know a lot about it.
Yeah, but I've been in this weird, like, YouTube has been showing me things, because a couple of weeks ago on another podcast I do called Discover Myrtle Beach, always brought to you by SoundUp Now.
Cha-ching.
Like I do that, yeah. I did a tech segment where I pulled out an old BlackBerry 8330 from like 2008. And now I keep seeing BlackBerry videos on YouTube because they're listening. It's really weird.
Like walking by my Alexa and seeing the blue ring light up for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's like, I see you. What's your name?
You're listening.
Brandon, you listening? Over there in Cupertino, wherever you are.
I just you say like random products. You're like, kumquats. And then you start getting like retargeted for fresh produce. It's
hilarious. But anyway, so... or either that or BlackBerry had like an anniversary or something. I've really been seeing a lot of BlackBerry stuff. I don't know if something's going on.
I just saw the episode with The Office where Ryan bought them all BlackBerries.
That was a really good episode, though. That was really good. But BlackBerries were like the thing. Did you have one?
No, I bought the faux berries.
The Sidekick?
No, yeah, I had like a Sidekick.
I used to want one so bad.
I am not even lying. The phone. I would find out about phones online that I thought would work well for my real estate business when I first got in, like 02, 03, 04. And I would like see cool phones or Google or research or that kind of stuff, and I could never find what I wanted in the phone stores locally in Myrtle Beach because we're a little behind on tech, you know what I mean? So I would order my stuff literally from China. Like I would order phones like eBay and stuff, yeah.
I had a friend who's
HTC, which is not the local HTC
the company.
Yeah, the company and
made phones for a lot of manufacturers. But I had a friend whose like dad was an engineer for AT&T, and he always had these crazy phones. I'm like, where did you even like? One of them like flipped out with the screen. It was like a handheld camera at one time.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I never had any of those.
That's what I did.
I had a BlackBerry, and my wife was like, no one's ever going to, only business people use those. And
she no also one's ever going to do that smartphone thing.
She also used to make fun of me plugging in my laptop to watch Hulu and Netflix on the TV. That was stupid. Who's laughing now?
Me at the moment.
Yeah. So we're always first with technology stuff. You know what?
Always. Come on.
He had a drum machine at his live gigs back in the day.
Oh
you
my
built
gosh,
an office in the back of your car back in the day.
I did. I actually had.
He had like drawers and stuff.
I had a custom built office put into my. I was one of the first real estate agents. I'm not even joking, and this isn't bragging at all because it only lasted for a little bit. I was one of the first. I'm not bragging. I was one of the first real estate agents to get the
printer. Fax machine?
Yeah, no, fax machine. No. It was what did they call it? Basically, it was a chip you put into your laptop to get Wi-Fi anywhere. It was like cellular data Wi-Fi, but do you remember this? It was like a PCI card.
Hotspot thing.
It's like a PCI card, and you had to plug it in and actually insert it into the laptop.
I have one in my bag
to get that.
It doesn't. I don't think it works.
Yeah, and it had a little antenna, little skinny antenna that came up, and I had a custom built desk put in the back of my car at that time, SUV, with, like you said, drawers and all that kind of stuff. With
I just remember one time playing music and saying I needed a stapler, and you walked out to your car, opened a drawer, and pulled out a stapler, and I was like, what?
I had office supplies
in the world.
I was mobile capable. No 3.
It worked. But what I wanted to ask you, what gadget from when you either started business or were younger, like what gadget do you kind of actually miss a little bit and wish we still sort of had, or
that hasn't like evolved with us that we do have? Like a gadget that...
Yeah, was there ever something that you kind of like just liked and sort of miss a little bit? Fax machines?
No, I hated fax machines. I mean, like, well, obviously they still exist. I don't know if there was a gadget that, like, give me another example. Not fax machines.
Beeper?
Okay, I did have a beeper in high school. That was kind of cool. Like, here's why the beeper was cool. We are so on a tangent. This is why the beeper was cool. Is because it's like a text message. It was, I'll respond to you on my own time. I know you want to get a hold of me, but I'm going to choose when I call you back. Like, I know you're trying to get me. It's not like you can keep, like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't like as much of a phone call interruption. It was like, oh, I got beeped. Oh, this person wants me to call him back. I'll think about it.
I oddly miss having a keyboard sometimes. I get really annoyed at touchscreen keyboards still to this day. Chris almost ended the whole stream picking up a keyboard, by the way.
Well, because you have a keyboard.
I miss having the actual... I was playing with that BlackBerry.
So I was going to say that, like a slide out, and I actually had a keyboard that slide out on my phone.
I never liked the slide out one. I didn't like the sideways ones. I liked the one-handed tallways ones.
Oh, no. There was many years where I would still only type sideways on my iPhone before I got into this.
I did do that for a while, too. I remember getting the Motorola Droid, though, and never using the keyboard that slid out because I wanted it to be an iPhone, but...
I just now get your topic of missed gadget. All right.
Yeah. So...
Moving on.
Anyway... that was kind of it. I was just feeling nostalgic after watching the BlackBerry and the beepers.
Oh my goodness!
They invented like the beeper basically, which is crazy because they said the network couldn't handle it, so they did it through.
What color was your pager?
I don't think I actually had a pager.
You never had a pager like in high school?
I'm like a kid.
You're like 2 years younger than me. 3.
So,
I don't really remember. I don't know how old you are.
I just remember, and I know she's not watching this. This girl. I'm not going to say her name. I just remember her family had a pager store, and there's this video commercial they had locally in North Carolina, and it's just her missing like her ride or something, and just saying, I wish my daddy had a pager. It's so funny, because her entire high school life,
accent?
every woman would say that to her for like all through like high school, and it was so sad.
Wow. Okay.
She shouldn't have sounded so country.
Thanks for asking, but mine was blue. I had like a
clear. They were all black.
I had like a clear... Like that clear plastic blue. Our studio audience is getting...
Jennifer Elena just said, please deliver my hat to the beach chair in front of 82nd Avenue.
Oh, North. Jen's in town. Why isn't she on our podcast?
Where I'm sitting. I'm taking the LOL as sarcasm.
Yeah. Actually, Sean's going to be down that way. And
I'm going to send it via DoorDash. There you go.
All right, so so I do miss that page. That pager was actually kind of, and those things were durable. I could throw it like across the gym, and then
maybe. So are you ready for the Alexa skill stumper segment? I forgot an S. I accidentally deleted an S.
Alexa skill
I keep
stumper.
trying to come up with a way to shorten this, and it just keeps looking like bad.
Alexa. Cool. All right, so Alexa skill stumper.
I thought
Stumper.
only drug dealers and doctors had pagers. Gotta pay for college
Guess which
somehow.
one which one I was.
Oh man,
that's a doctor.
All right, you ready? I have one for you.
It's like Doogie Howser back in the day. Okay, so you got one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go.
You know those stores that you go in and they have like a bunch of different things, including like vintage video games, like some nostalgic stuff, and like hobbyist stuff. So you're a hobbyist vintage store.
Wow. A hobbyist,
like you have like the train parts and stuff, you know.
Oh wait, I thought you were going with kind of our first topic, like trading cards, baseball cards,
yes,
coin
all that
collecting,
stuff.
like hobby. All right, hobby store.
There was one I went to in Orlando, and it had trading cards, and it had
all right.
that.
This is so easy. I mean, I'm not saying it's so easy, but like I think we both probably can come up with a ton of ideas for you. So here's a couple we're going to check off the list. First of all, your flash briefing could be awesome, because I really think if you're like a hobbyist and you have that rare, copper nickel from 1843 that just hit your store, like you could talk about some of the most rarest things in a flash briefing, like to a niche audience. I think it maybe not even niche. I think your audience could really grow on your flash briefing, talking about unique items, like unique items that you got, that 42 rookie card of Mickey Mantle, whatever, like that came into the store that day. And like describe that. I think you could have a lot of fun talking about unique items, bring on guests, people that came on, because those shows got big. Those shows on I forget, it was like Bravo and like History Channel and that kind of thing, where they go into stores and they look at artifacts or rare findings that they can find in those type of stores, or like at a garage sale or that kind of thing. I think you could do the same thing with flash briefings. I think it would be kind of fun for a hobby store. Branding people to come to your store, because that's where the transition lost, was like in the late 80s, early 90s. In the mall era, there was always those hobby stores in the mall, and they got traffic there. Well, as the mall era died and you've gone more to online, you need to be putting out content around your store to get the traffic or to get the online audience there. So Alexa Flash Briefing's number one. And your custom skill, this feature would be so awesome. Your Q&A is going to be ridiculously cool, and how you use Q&A in our custom skill, because you can dynamically change the responses, right? But when people ask what thing's worth, I just found a 1942 Buffalo nickel. How much is that worth? Like, if you could almost database and categorize different unique items that maybe you have in your store and you have a valuation on them, helping people get valuations on them.
100% possible.
I think that would be awesome. And then people contact you through the contact skillet, people contacting you to, I guess, request more information, or you can help buy or purchase if they're looking to sell or that kind of thing. I think that would be fun for your custom skill as a hobbyist, is creating that connection where people can reach out, find valuations, provide that value, but then also create an avenue where people could sell you, or you could either find collectors or people that want to get rid of items that they have maybe found or come into possession of, can find you as kind of the trading post.
I think this is the best flowing set of topics I've ever created. Chris is going to come at me with like a welder.
Oh.
No. That's kind of my thoughts. I mean, it was a retail. Retail's honestly one of the industries that should be on every platform, honestly. There's not really a way you can't come up with something for retail. So there's a layup for you this week.
A layup? You were trying to stump me, though. I mean, like, I could see it in your eye. You're
no, I've been on this weird nostalgic kick for the past week, because once you look at one thing on YouTube, it's just there.
Okay.
So,
all right. So, well, let me go with this. I'll kind of, I guess maybe I'll give you one, because I see these a lot, and I kind of wonder. This probably is a little bit related to talking about the gadget topics, but the CPR stores. Cell phone repair places.
Literally, first thing I thought was like a dummy and someone like giving a compression.
Yeah, no, not that. The cell phone or electronic repair retail to an extent, but like, how could they be producing content or value for people through Alexa skills or flash briefings to build their business?
Well, I was trying to type that, but my keyboard messed up. Flash. This is I'm trying a new thing. Boom. There. Oh yeah, there's a delay.
I know. That was creepy.
That scared the heck out of me.
That's creepy.
Adam's over here looking through the doorway with his head, and I did not hear him come up.
What else would he be looking with?
What was the question? All right, so I was scared, Adam. That wasn't nice. So, cell phone repair.
There you go. You got it?
I literally forgot it.
Bring it back.
Like, it was like a ghost.
Bring it
There's
back.
a ghost named Jimmy stuck in the wall here at the office. So anyway, well, being that I kind of was in this industry at one point, one of the things I know people always want to know is their device ready. So having sort of an account set up, which could help you in the future with business and promotions and other things. So I know they try to sell other things in general. But
accessories
also,
and whatnot.
yeah, but also asking, maybe you just want to provide value to people that want to work on some of their own stuff and say, what kind of screwdriver do I need to fix a MacBook, right? Or what tools do I need to fix this? Or how much does it cost for the screen on this part and things like that, including possibly setting up actual appointments. But I think just one thing that recently happened is I did break one of my phones, and I was trying to find out on Verizon's website how much it would cost for an insurance claim, and it took forever to find it. Where if I could have just asked how much is an insurance claim for a broken screen, or how much does it cost to fix a headphone jack, like things. Well, rest in peace, headphone jack. That would have been tremendous for me. Is just the Q&A function of it. Now, when it comes to a flash briefing, I think you could definitely do tips. A lot of you might not know, water damage can be caused by leaving the phone in the bathroom if you take a really hot shower. The moisture can build up inside the phone. The way your glasses fog up, if your phone fogs up, you're getting moisture inside your phone. So your phone starts acting weird, but you feel like you never got it wet and you live in a humid climate, it's actually going to be that. There's many, many times where people swore they never opened their phones, and I would open the phone and there would be corrosion inside. Corrosion is only caused by one thing generally. The other thing, too, is just maybe even popular phones having questions. Someone asks, what size battery is my... Like, people all the time are like, what size battery is my... It's weird. They would ask that, and you would tell them, and they still didn't understand because it's like 3,500 milliamps. They were like, what does that mean? So, different things like that. Because there's a huge market for that. iFixit has, like, their entire website is all about that, and people want to see what's inside and stuff. If you could even have, like, the iFixit repairability score, like loaded up for different phones and stuff like that. Asking if they have parts. There's this cool video. This guy lives in China, and he goes around all these parts stores and builds his own Samsung phone from just parts because they sell them everywhere there. Yeah. And it's really, really cool. So I think there's a bunch of different things. I think phone health tips, saying like, here's this week's apps you shouldn't download. Here's the app of the week, like just useful things for phones. A lot of people put antivirus stuff on their phones. Don't. That's stupid. Don't do that because a lot of them have viruses. So somebody could ask about those types of things. So I think there's a lot you could do with that.
I think there's a lot you can do because, and especially when we talk about like search, if you do a podcast as well around tech, around hardware side of phones and iPads or tablets or that kind of stuff, that we just talked about Google search and pulling audio from flash briefings and podcasts that are uploaded, like that kind of audio uploaded into the Google platform. I think you could really create some SEO search around your business as well.
Actually,
it's so like how-to videos on YouTube is so search. I feel like it could go audio too. Like I think you can move it that direction with hardware.
A lot of you may not know a hidden feature on our the SoundUp Studio is you can actually drag a video into it and it'll convert that to audio for you. But you didn't know that.
Cool.
So you could actually just make a video on YouTube.
Wait, file type.
Video. MP4.
Yeah, MP4. Just I tried another one, it didn't work.
Yeah, don't MOV. Don't do that one. So if you have MP4 video and you just make a whole video on YouTube and you're like, you know what, I want to repurpose this on Alexa, you can. Just think about it in your video when you're like, see this right here, look how this looks right here. Don't do that because if they're listening, they can't see that.
Thank you, Jen. I am a genius. All right,
she was talking,
that might have been for you.
She's talking about me, absolutely. Actually, those comments are delayed and old, so I was trying to put this one up there. But anyway, that's all we have for that. If you have suggestions for industries, let us know. Edit that out before we put this out as its own video.
Alexa Skill Stumper is one of our favorite segments, and yes, send us any industries.
Is it so much of a favorite that you think it deserves its own little like tab on the dashboard for people to watch previous?
I know
segments.
We upload segments of Alexa Skill Stumper every Wednesday, so tomorrow there'll be a new one out there individually edited for its.
I think
grandeur.
We should have this. I think we've got a database of these enough at this point.
At some point, it's gonna
We should make sure we have a Skill Stumper segment for each industry we have templates for too.
Yeah, that'd be smart. We probably need to go back and look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go do that now.
Okay.
All right. Have a great week, everybody.
I did the Casey Neistat wave. Yeah, I don't know.